Let's bring in Hassan Barari. He's a professor of international affairs at Qatar University. So Hassan, it feels like we've seen all of this before, right? A ceasefire proposal, Blinken comes to the region, Israel and Hamas trade blame. You could tell me this time is different, or you could tell me it's all the same political theater, to use a word that Zain used earlier, and I would believe you either way. What do you think?
I agree with you that we've seen this movie before quite often, and then it never yielded to the desired outcome. But this time I think it's a little bit different, simply because the regional dynamics has changed with the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, Hamas leaders, and the Iranian intention to retaliate. So here's the point that President Biden wants to avoid a scenario where the region degenerated into a regional war where the United States would be involved.
So you're saying this time the cost of not agreeing to a ceasefire plan is a lot higher?
It's assumed so. So the Americans assume that short of having a ceasefire right now, the Iranian might retaliate, and in this way Netanyahu would retaliate again, and this cycle would complicate the American situation in the region.
Okay, the cost of failure is higher, so the chances of success, awkwardly, are actually higher.
I would say the pressure would be more in Netanyahu. I mean, we cannot really guarantee the
Well, I want to talk about
outcome.
this pressure, right? Because I think there's consensus that the U.S. is really the key country that can put pressure, or choose not to put pressure, on Israel. But we know the U.S. is not going to stop arms deliveries. We know they're not going to suspend financial aid, and we know they're going to protect Israel from potential regional attacks. So within those limits, which are pretty clear now, what really is the pressure that the U.S. could put on Israel?
As you said, it's teethless pressure, because if it's not connected to a threat or a price tag, it seems to be difficult for Netanyahu to cave in unless there is something internal in Israel that would force him to do so.
But within those parameters, is there something that, can Biden say, I know I want to keep delivering weapons, I know I want to keep up the financial aid, and I've already sent my carrier strike group to the region to protect Israel. All of that is a given. But within that, I still want to put pressure on Israel. Just a hypothetical, if Biden is in that mindset, what can he do?
I think Netanyahu would have little room to maneuver, and this would create different dynamic within Israeli society, within the Israeli politics. That Netanyahu would be, in really hard situation, that he will cave in. And we know that Netanyahu caves in whenever there's real pressure. We've seen him in 1997, 1998 with Wye River Agreement, and even this led to the dissolve of his government. But we know Netanyahu is not the one who would stand up to the pressure if it's connected with price tag. But until this moment, Netanyahu relies on his allies in the United States, in the Congress, for instance, the Republican Party. He relies on them to offset the pressure. So it's a game. Whenever Netanyahu feels that he's going to lose in this game, he caves in.
I keep hearing Biden wants a ceasefire agreement for his legacy, for the way he'll be remembered. First of all, do you agree with that premise?
To some extent, yeah.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, the clock's ticking for Biden, right? He doesn't have that long left in office.
I think he could have done this before. In November last year, there was a chance for perpetuating the ceasefire, but he chose not to interfere, and he kept protecting Israel and giving Israel the space to eliminate Hamas when Israel failed to do so. So now I think he's a lame duck right now. He can't really bank on a legacy. All he needs probably is to help Harris win elections. So it's not about legacy. And I think Biden understands very well that the peace talks or the ceasefire proposal would be limited to the first phase. So if he can...
Is that what you believe?
I think they are not related. And that's why Hamas is adamant.
Sorry, what's not related?
The proposal is 3 phases.
Yes.
Phase
one is temporary ceasefire that leads to phase 2 for permanent ceasefire.
Yeah, and in exchange for release of the hostages.
Yes.
And this would be an achievement for Biden. And
so he could...
After that, it's going to be difficult. A, time would not really help Biden, and B, Netanyahu is not going to change course simply because he knows that, in this case, he would be responding positively to the demand of the public that, okay, I got your boys back. So what else you want me? Let me finish the job.
Hassan Barari, thank you very much for your thoughts. Thank you for joining us today.
Sure. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.